All right, welcome to another edition of Talk That Talk, the home of the podcast where washed-up athletes and current athletes get to talk about how they get to stroll down memory lane and how sports has impacted their current careers. Now we have a real special guest in the building by the name of Mounda Williams, a gifted basketball player, and now he's transitioning into the sports, I would say the sports agent side, and he's looking to really shake the world up with his business moves. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm good, bro. I appreciate it, man. I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad we could, get the schedules together, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. It took a little time, but we're here.
For sure, man. It gave me the prep. I'm going to try to give you as many details and get as animated as possible for you, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Just be you, bro. We're here. So let's go back to high school a little bit. Talk about your journey as how you really prepared yourself to be able to play at the collegiate level.
So high school for me was I had a real interesting experience because I went to DeMatha High School, which is like.
You went to DeMatha?
Yeah, I went to DeMatha, bro. I did my first 3 years, freshman, sophomore, and junior year at DeMatha. I played ball freshman year, and like I said, DeMatha that shit is crazy because everybody was the man in middle school. They come to DeMatha, and
everybody, man.
Yeah, they everybody could play, bro. No lie, bro. Like literally, it was like 90 people at tryouts for freshman team at DeMatha. Like,
freshman?
You know what I'm saying? Freshman team, bro. And it's like freshman, JV, and varsity at private school at DeMatha. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, freshman team is literally like 90 people, yo. Like they do team A, team B, all the way down to like X, Y, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's craziness, real competitive. So I made the team. I played freshman and JV, and then junior year, it was crazy because, at varsity at DeMatha, it's pretty like set up. Like, who's going to be on varsity. And I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't really one of those people who was like slated to be varsity, who was like going through the program. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't one of those. But tryouts, I was cooking in tryouts. So, so I made the team, and, football season goes into basketball season just a little bit. So after football season, then the dudes who want to try out for basketball, they come on and try out a little later after the team's already been set. And it was crazy for me because I had made the team, even though I wasn't really supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody saw that.
Bro. You were supposed to.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. But then it's crazy because after some of the football dudes came, coach changed his mind and was like, I know I had you on the team. You got all your gear and all that. But
the team?
Yeah, he was like, I need all that back. So I got off the team.
Oh, that's crazy.
Crazy, bro. I'm telling you, one of the football dudes took my spot, which is cool. That's the way it goes. So I was like, man, after that, I was like, all right, I ain't taking
the basketball.
Yeah, man. So I left my senior year. I did 1 year at public school, Springbrook High School, and we ended up winning the state championship. So it was dope.
It was meant for you.
Cool. Yeah.
Are you a washed-up ball player, or do you still have skills?
Oh, no. I'm still getting better. I still be playing. My brothers and like a bunch of my boys, they still play like overseas. So I get in the gym with them, and I can keep up.
You could still low key. You could do something.
Yeah. These are professionals, so I can keep up with them. Yeah.
So now you transition to Claflin. Was there a stop for your collegiate career before Claflin, or?
Yeah. I had pretty much a similar high school experience. I got recruited to go to a small school called Pfeiffer University in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina, Meisenheimer, North Carolina. I played there. It was cool, but I was like miserable, and I was like young and immature. So back then it was like, if you don't like something, I'm not sticking
doing it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was young, 18, you know what I'm saying? So I left there. I went to Fayetteville State. That was cool. I walked on, played. I got, ended up getting playing. Honestly, bro, throughout my whole basketball career, I was like defying the odds.
You were the underdog, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because it's like, you go to college, dudes is on scholarship, a walk-on don't touch the floor. I was like getting started minutes as a walk-on at Fayetteville State. You know what I'm saying? And then the coach at the end of the, you do your reviews or whatever at the end of the season, and I ain't get a scholarship. So my boy called me. He was at Claflin. He was like, that was Crep. Crep was like, man, look, come to Claflin, bro.
Crep had bounce too.
Hey, Crep was
big shout out to Crep.
Yeah, Crep.
He's doing
That's my
good
dog.
right now too. He's doing.
Say it again.
He's doing real good right now too.
Oh yeah, Crep doing good. He up there in New York with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then I came to Claflin, bro, and Claflin was cool. I loved it, man. Met a lot of good people. So I mean, I met a lot of people all throughout my whole life, like at all my different stops. So it was dope, man. It was cool.
What would you say you were looking forward to in terms of Claflin? Because I can't say, but I don't know if you remember, but I was in the trial with you when we started Claflin, our freshman year, right? So
right.
I think that, like, what were you looking forward to from Claflin? Like, did you think that was going to be a spot where you could transition and play overseas, or that was just a spot for you where you were just looking to get minutes and play ball?
No, yeah, man. That was supposed to be the way I was looking at it. I was hoping it was going to be like the springboard to everything finally falling in place from a basketball standpoint, getting my minutes, getting some recognition, getting a chance to put some stats together and make a case to get overseas, you know what I'm saying? But didn't work out like that over there either. And of course, we had again, first of all, I don't regret anything or anywhere I've ever been, because it's all like, it's been a blessing to me in so many different ways. But, it just ain't happened like that. And honestly, our coach, I'm not really a coach basher, but I love my HBCUs.
What it was tough, man.
Bro, I love my HBCUs, but sometimes about HBCUs is some people be in positions that they got no business being in. That's just the thing about HBCUs. I always say I love HBCUs, but I think that sometimes can be one of the downsides of HBCUs. Is just like you just, the connections and networking, and it just gets overplayed sometimes, I feel like.
Okay.
Because would end up getting fired. Like, that's another thing. Every coach, all the coaches I played for in college, they all got fired after I left. All jokes aside, all three of them got fired right when I left.
That's crazy.
It's like, come on,
so
man.
If they wasn't there, what would your career have been if they weren't?
I'll be saying all the time, man, look, I don't look in the past. I don't care. I love basketball. I play it. But, like, if you come in the gym right now, like,
I'll give you the gym 40.
Right now, and, like, somebody you ain't know who's who in the gym, and they just be like, some of these dudes play overseas and some don't. They probably wouldn't pick me as the dude who don't play professionally. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Like,
because of where the skill level is still at now.
Yeah, I can still play.
Yeah, I feel that. Let me ask you this then: if you got the chance to pick between being a sports agent and playing ball right now, what would you choose?
I'm gonna have to go with the agent, because I feel like it happened this way for a reason. So I ain't gonna fight it, and I think that's ultimately where my real calling is. Like, I feel like, sure, ball could have been cool for me, but I think I can make some real monumental waves as a sports agent, honestly. So
right, don't go too deep into that yet. Hold on.
Okay.
Don't go to that yet. All right, so then you leave Claflin, and before we go into that, I just want to say, what would you say is the biggest thing that you really took, that you learned from being at Claflin?
Being at Claflin, first of all, I feel like, at Claflin was like college overall, but specifically at Claflin, it was like a real developmental stage in my life, because that's when I was like really reading, like watching a lot of YouTube and a lot of interviews. Like, I love watching interviews, and that habit started when I was at Claflin. Like, honestly, bro, I would go to the library at Claflin, check out books that I heard in the interviews or whatever, take them to class. And to be completely honest, sometimes I would not be paying attention in class. I'm just reading. I brought my own books. I'm just reading and learning, stuff that I want to learn. But I think that it's just working hard and, like, really giving it your everything, and being organized. So, like, for example, I tell this story sometimes to my youngins. Like, I had set out to, when I was playing, I had set out to make, I can still tell you today, it was one school year, I think it was 2010, 2011, I made 14,000 shots, and I, like, recorded every make, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first semester was 4,000, and then second semester, I made 10,000. From January until May, it took me, what's that, 5 months, it took me to make 10,000 shots. You know what I'm saying? And that was when I was redshirting. So I would be in the gym on the gun, and I would literally go in the gym, every single make, I'll keep track. and go back home, go back into the dorm and write it in my book until I got to 10,000. So like that took me to a whole new place, like just being like regimental and being consistent. Because that type of goal, which, life goals, a lot of large life goals, it takes consistency over a long period of time. And so I feel like, I did that. I know I can do this. It's just every single day, you know what I'm saying? Like you break it down. If you want to make 10,000 over 4 months, how many days in each month, how many makes do I need to have each week, each day? You know what I'm saying? So it gets real specific and real meticulous. And that's kind of one thing that basketball and Claflin like helped me to develop.
So that brings you to the point of having like a real solid foundation, which I feel we all need.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you the story that I remember. It's something that I really always respected about you really was your work ethic. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people paid attention, but even I think the year that you did, I think you might have did you redshirt one year?
Yeah, it was my 2010, 2011.
Yeah, so I remember the year you redshirted, I used to pay attention to the way that you would be in the gym. Like, you were in the gym nonstop. Like, every time I see you was on the move to the gym, literally.
Facts.
And to me, I mean, I think a lot of people don't really understand the mentality that a red shirt collegiate player has to have.
Yeah.
That can literally be a year off if you're not dedicated. Just because you're going to practice,
right,
scrimmaging, doing everything it's supposed to do, I saw like a good amount of times the things that you were doing that people were not seeing. And when you got on the court, I could tell that you transitioned into that. You wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have
right. Right. Like, it's easy because, the season's going on, so they worried about that, your teammates and your coaching staff. Like,
nobody's really worried about you.
Yeah,
you have to be worried about you.
Exactly.
Like, as long as you do your individuals and come to practice, the rest is on you.
For sure. So it takes definitely a lot of discipline, and I feel like I'm happy with the way I feel like I took advantage of that.
One of my favorite memories of you, I think it was one time we were in the gym, and somebody was talking shit, and you were done working out. Like, you literally put your clothes on, you was leaving. Somebody was talking hot shit, and you like, yo, bro, I'm about to put my clothes back on and bust your ass. I feel like I know who it was, but I don't want to get in there because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I remember you coming on the court and literally busting their ass, bro.
Yo, I can't remember.
I'm talking about you done with a 2-3 hour workout, and you're like, bro, you don't never talk like that. If I put my shoes on,
nah, that sounds like something. I'm like, bro, you about to make me put my sneakers back on, and we're gonna get back to it.
And we already know your handle was crazy, and you had the shot for sure. So when I see now,
I appreciate that, bro.
I done made that man mad.
I appreciate that, bro. Like I said, I ain't never really get to have it pan out like I wanted to, but I'm cool. I'm cool with it, the way it all worked out.
And then now after Claflin, you transition and you do an internship with the New York Knicks. Break down how that really, helped push you further in your career as well too.
Yeah, man, that was a crazy dope experience. My first sports job. I was up in New York, by myself. I got a couple friends and family that live up there that I would get up with. That was in 2013. So it was. Yeah, summer league of 2000. Summer was at July of 2013. I went out to Vegas to NBA summer league, and I was just out there, just trying to network and stuff like that. Yo, it's crazy. I look back at my life like, Mo, you kind of crazy because you got summer league games, they cost, and you got to have credentials. If you're trying to get in for free, you got to have credentials, bro, and all that. So I was at home before I went out there. I got a little lanyard. I got a little card that I made my own little credential type of thing. I put Mounda Williams. I made that shit look real official. You know what I'm saying? I would when I was going to the gym in summer league, I would have that joint on, and that got me in the games for free. It was cool.
Word?
Yeah.
That's
so I was
crazy,
man. Yes, and I would have a notebook and all that. It looked real official. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I wanted to portray. I was, I was there on business. I know it's Las Vegas, but I was there on business, and the dude that I ended up working for, he was, the director of basketball operations for the Knicks. I met him out there. I had just stopped him one time in the gym, and I'm like, yo, how you doing? Introduce myself, and I'm like, can I ask you a few questions? And he was real cool, man. He was like, yeah, he pulled me to the side. So, we just started talking and we stayed in touch. And, when I got back home, I would send him a message. Like, honestly, it was like no response for like months, like literally like months. And then one day he hit me back and he was like, yo, there's an opening, there's an internship if you want to take it. I'm like, yo, hell yeah, I want to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, like I've had like learning points, like, yo, just sometimes all you gotta do is ask. Just ask, like, say hello to somebody. You never know what's gonna happen. And don't get discouraged if you don't hear nothing back, honestly, when you're trying to break into a certain field. Like, honestly, like I said, it was literally like months. I mean, he had told me later, like, he didn't recognize my email. He thought it might have been spam or something like that, which is cool.
Okay. But
you know what I'm saying?
You just up with that situation.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's how I got started up at the Knicks. But it was a dope experience because, that was when Melo was there, Amari Stoudemire was there. It was Shump,
something.
Yeah, it was. They had talent on that mob. You know what I'm saying? And I was a intern, like, and I'm just observing. That's all I spent all my time doing while I was there, just observing, like, crazy, like just blown away by all the money that they got at that organization. Like, I'm talking
crazy.
Food was crazy food that was in the locker room before and after games. You know what I'm saying? Like, just going to waste really because they wouldn't really eat it. They had at the practice facility, they had chefs. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like so crazy. My dog CDR was up there too when I was there. But that experience just really taught me just to, like I said, just honestly, sometimes all you got to do is just ask. You never know what's going to lead to. Introduce yourself to somebody, ask, establish a connection and maintain the connection. And that's when I really got into like the fashion side of basketball, which, inspired the idea of the app that I have. So that's what New York gave me.
How hard was it for you to give up basketball? Like when in your career did you really recognize, like, damn, like I gotta put my baby down and really push myself to do something else? Like, where was that transitional moment for you?
I feel like it was toward like my last year at Claflin, for real. And what really honestly made it so easy for me was, one of my best friends that I grew up with, he was doing the same. He was leaving playing basketball to coaching. You know what I'm saying? He was making that transition. And honestly, if I didn't have him making that transition with me at the same time, maybe I would have held on too long, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's I feel like I was lucky to have somebody that was doing the exact same thing. Yeah, exactly. Because even some of my other boys were like, yo, who's still playing? Yeah, they still playing right now. He was like, yo, at the time, like, yo, you really want to do this? And like, they know what went into it though. It's like, all right, if you really want to stop, that's cool. But I'm surprised. They were shocked. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think sometimes it really takes that moment for you to shift and bank on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, now I know even as men and just competitors, like just knowing that you could still be in the gym with the overseas athletes, I feel like that's good enough.
Right, exactly.
But you stepping into this space now of being an agent, that's something that's bigger than you playing at the YMCA and playing.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? Because, I mean, at the end of the day for you, it's like, yo, if you want to, like I will tell you, I will go grab these sneakers right now. But that's not where I'm going first.
Right. And I think a lot of it also has to do with, like, the fact that you got to view yourself as somebody who has talents outside of basketball, outside of playing basketball.
That's the key right there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think that all you can do, all you were made to do is play ball, then of course it's going to be hard to leave it because you don't think that you could do anything else. But I believe that I'm like, yo, I have other talents, or, talents that I can translate and leverage in other aspects. So why not? I'm not hurting myself.
Nah, not at all. Who are some of your favorite college and NBA players right now?
Oh, all-time favorite college player was Kemba Walker. Yo, when he was in college.
Kemba got busy.
Oh man, Kemba was crazy in college. This man was 6'2", 6'1", 6 feet.
On a good day.
Exactly, throwing it off the glass, getting layups, 30s, 40s. Yeah. He won 3 championships that year. It was the Maui, and then it was Big East, and then the National. Like I was, and then of course he had that step back. So Kemba was my favorite college player. NBA, I like CP.
Why you like CP?
You don't like CP?
It's not that I don't like Chris Paul. I respect Chris Paul's game a lot, you know?
Okay.
But my thing with Chris Paul is I think he gets a pass. Don't nobody want to talk about the time the Rockets ran them down for that 3-1.
That's facts.
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? I think that I don't know why I feel like he gets that pass because he is a good guy. Like from what I've heard, he's a good guy. But in terms of playing, I feel like a lot of people hold him at the whole. He's a Hall of Famer, but I don't feel like he won enough. Like I know he's gym rat. I know he's in the gym, but in terms of winning,
right? No, I can agree with you. I mean, his talent and what he's he's like an exemplary point guard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
and everybody puts him at that top because of the amount of time he's been in the league.
Right.
You know
but yeah, he don't got no rings. So I'm not gonna ever call him a winner because I was just having a debate in the chat with my boys just like a few days ago. Like if you want to be, you gotta have at least one ring to be called a winner. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we feel. I mean, some people.
So you could be a great, but you're not considered a winner if you don't have.
You're not a winner. You can be a great player, Hall of Famer, one of the best, but I can't say you're a winner if you don't have a ring. I
respect it.
Yeah, but and so I mean, CP don't got no rings. I love him. He's a great player. Of course, I'm a huge Bron fan. I'm a Bron fan. I'm a Bron guy.
You can't be.
Why?
Who wouldn't be?
Oh, okay. I thought I was about to say no.
Oh, nah, never.
I mean, everybody knows everybody respects him as a great player, but some people don't really like Bron. I mean, for whatever reason, some people. I'm a huge Bron fan, and mainly because obviously, first of all, I think coming back from 3-1 against the Warriors was
crazy.
Legendary.
That's the greatest series I've ever seen personally in my life.
That series was crazy, honestly. I mean, him and Kyrie, that was a game 7. You can't ask for nothing.
They was taking turns getting 40, bro.
Bruh. And then the thing I feel like makes him so great from that series was, in that whole series, he led the stats in everything. Assists, rebounds, points, like
minutes, everything.
How do you do that? Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
I can't disagree with you at all because LeBron is just, I don't know. He's that one player that I hate the comparison conversation because I don't really like comparing people personally. But I think that when you think of LeBron, we've never seen anything like that because he's one of those players that you can literally say no matter what team you put him on, they legitimately have a chance to be a contender.
Absolutely, I agree.
I'm not saying that Jordan wasn't that, but Jordan didn't pass like that. Jordan wasn't that big. Jordan wasn't that strong.
Right.
He wasn't that fast. And LeBron's impact, to me, he's just an overall better, I guess, athlete because just what he does off the court, too, just as a whole package for me, I just...
Right. That's what I was going to get to next. Nobody can talk about what he does off the court because that's just he in a lane of his own when it comes to off the court. And he speaks up about stuff like and never got in trouble, like not a single bad. You can't find nothing on Google about him bad at all.
People hate it.
Nothing on Ball Alert, TMZ. You can't find nothing on Bron. Like and he been in the spotlight since he was a kid. So I mean that's why I say he the super GOAT.
And you know the thing, lastly, that I would say about him too, the craziest part that I've seen, I don't know if you peeped the news recently, but now he's working on this docuseries with the Houston Astros.
I recently saw that. About the sign language.
With a company called Quibi, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think they're going to call it sign language. I think they said something like that.
Bro, you're not going to tell me that's not a boy? Like, and when he does stuff, it's just like, I just had to give him a shout out on the gram just before me and you got on. I'm like, again, bro.
Right.
Again.
Yeah, no, he's impressive, man. Honestly, his crew is impressive. And I like Bron. I mean, Rich Paul, of course, is as an agent, you got to respect Rich Paul. Yo, that's hilarious. Sometimes people be like, yo, you remind me of Rich Paul. And honestly, it's a compliment that I really
that is a compliment.
Appreciate. It's a super compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you might get in somewhere because they might think you Rich Paul. You're like, hey, Rich, come on. Just look right in there.
Rich Paul is a very strategic and admirable guy. He ain't that good looking, though. So people going to have to stop that one.
All right, so now we have your app called Zootin. Tell me what really inspired that and what makes that an app of its own.
So Zooting is a sports tech, sports fashion app that basically it turns the NBA runways into like fashion magazine, or like think of GQ. You know, right now fashion is huge. It's very immersed in the basketball and culture. And, you know, again, basically it takes the athletes and kind of substitutes them or doubles them as like our runway models. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to market the clothing lines and brands that they're wearing. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to take it digital. Think of like GQ magazine on the palm of your hands, and the athletes are the models. That's kind of what it's going to be. And I started that 2015. You know, so it's been a process. It's been 5 years right now. And you know, the thing about it that makes it kind of challenging is that unlike Instagram, you can't just build the app and then just put it out and be like, all right, people use it. Tell me what y'all think. And then it grows like that. Yeah. And the reason is because to get the access, you got to have certain permission and clearance and stuff like that to use images and to get in the arenas and stuff like that. So that's what I just kind of been trying to navigate. But I made some strides that I'm proud of so far. Like I sent some info up to the NBA. They called me back, like, you know, wanted to talk about it. And I went and I had a meeting at the technology center in Secaucus. So I went up there. I presented. Jersey. Yeah, I was in Jersey. I presented the information. And, you know, the conclusion of that meeting was that, you know, this is really dope. We like the product. We see how it can engage fans. We see the potential. Let's try to start on a team level, like let one team use it, do a pilot program, see how the fans take to it, collect some data, and then, you know, reconvene for a conversation on like league-wide use. So then, cool, I sent some stuff to Cleveland because honestly, I have a few guys in mind who would be perfect as ambassadors. And I have a vision. The app I don't want it to just put it out there and team up with just anybody just in the name of getting started. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the way you start is very critical into the longevity of the product. So, you know, I went up to the Cavs too. The same thing happened. You know, they called me in. I made a presentation. I showed the demo, and, you know, they liked it. Shout out to my guy, Damian Chapman up there, who's, you know, this guy I'm still in contact with. But basically, the conclusion there was, all right, try to see if you can get one of the players involved because, you know, things don't always work out so well when it's the team, the front office mandating do this, do that. Like players don't really take to that too well. But if it's oh, one of the players has this product that he's a part of, yo, help me out. You know, you'll help your teammate out easy. You're not going to think twice about that. So, you know, I didn't really get anyone on board from that team, that Cleveland team at the time. But so I'm kind of just still developing and shopping it around and seeing where we can get in and start and stuff like that. So I feel like that should be able to happen within the next year, maybe by the end of within the next year. I feel like. So, but the product.
So as of right now, you made 2 presentations. You went to Jersey and one for the Cavs.
Right.
So when you think of fashion and style, who are like maybe 2 or 3 guys that come to mind when you say I like their style and I would want them to be a part of my app?
I love Rudy Gay's style.
Word? I never really.
Yeah. If you get a chance, check out Rudy Gay's page, man. He be wearing some cool shit. I like Bron's style. PJ Tucker.
You was gonna say PJ Tucker. I thought you.
Yeah, PJ crazy. He be having a bunch of shit. Who else? CP be having some cool stuff. What I like about CP, he be wearing like he got some HBCU gear. He wears some like different like underground designers and stuff like that. Like he's cool with it. He's cool.
So now we push into the realm where now you actually figure out that you're interested in being a basketball agent.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What really influenced that, and how does that come about? Because that's one of those things where you just can't say you want to do it. Like you have to be connected or be in a position to really do that.
Right. So it was, I think, 2017 or 2018. Basically, I was helping out one of my boys. I basically played agent for one of my boys overseas. Got him a deal. And at that point, my boys was like, yo, you might want to take this seriously. You know what I'm saying? Because he was having issues with his real agent. And I stepped in and helped out, and I got him a job, you know what I'm saying? So at that point, it was like, you got some talent. Like, you can do. So I had decided that I was going to get my FIBA certification. And I had to go to, they do the test like once a year in the U.S., and if you don't do it at that point, then you got to go to Switzerland, where it's like the headquarters. So I went over to Switzerland.
You went to Switzerland?
Yeah, bro. I went to Switzerland to take the test.
Wow.
Passed the test. It was cool. I got certified as a FIBA agent. And then I'm like, honestly, that's cool, but I would love to really like work at the NBA, you know what I'm saying, at the NBA level. So then, and it's crazy because when I was doing the FIBA test was tough. You had to study. But I never forgot, it was this one dude who was talking about the NBA test. He was just talking about how hard it was, like how people be failing the NBPA certification test. And I never forgot that. I was like, man, I want to take this test, but like, yo, Buddy was talking about how hard it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he was like, compared to the FIBA joint, the NBA is like crazy, way harder. So
what's on the test though? Like, what do they put on an agent's test?
It's like I said, the FIBA joint is cool. But the NBA test, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard. Like, it's what they put on it is like just a bunch of scenarios. I mean, they do a good job in making sure that anybody who has the certification knows what they're talking about. And I guess that's the point. They don't want people out here saying they're agent when they are not ready to and prepared to represent a player. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So they put like a bunch of scenarios like your player just got waived and he wants to get a 10-day contract, but it's currently this month. Is that a possibility? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's multiple choices, open book. But it's hard. I ain't gonna lie. It was a 3-hour exam and I needed every minute. Cause
how long did you prepare for it?
Probably over like 7 months. Ooh. I just like, it's the whole collective bargaining agreement. And I got lucky again. One of the reverberating messages of my life is just ask. So like, I know for a fact that if I didn't have a tutor, I would not have passed, because that's just me. Some people could have just read the collective bargaining agreement and been ready. But me, I need somebody to explain, or I need some examples. Like, all right, I see what this book says, but give me an example of when this happened. So, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I had read this article online on Forbes. I was reading the article on Forbes. And like, you know how the writers will leave their Twitter handle on the article. You know what I'm saying? So I got on Twitter and I, hit the dude up. His name is Jeff Siegel. Again, another dude I'm still in contact with, still cool, is my guy. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, I read this article. Do you mind explaining this to me? And, he gave me a crazy, thorough, long explanation, very clear. And I was like, yo, that was really helpful. Thank you for that. Would you mind if I just check in with you? I'm about to take my test. Would you mind if I check in with you like every Monday, maybe? Just, ask you some questions. He was like, yeah, sure. Cool. Sure. Next Monday came. I sent him some questions and we talked. And he was like, yo, like, people say that and come to me.
Don't ever do it.
He was like, they never follow up. Like, He's like, I'm happy to do it, of course. So like, it got to a point where it wasn't even every Monday. It was every like couple days we was talking. And like, what I love about him is he never charged me a penny. And if I asked him a question, bro, he would break it down so thoroughly for me, like, honestly. So Jeff is the man for that. And so that's how I was able to pass. Because it was even like a point where like they do a review for everybody who's about to take the test. And just kind of like, a study review, which is super love. But I had like one of the review let me know that I needed to get some clarification on like 1 or 2 topics. So I had hit him the day before the test, and again, came through, made it real clear for me. And, I was able to pass my test, bro. So it's 50 questions, and you have to have at least, is it 38 or 42? I can't remember, but you gotta have at least 38 or 42 correct in order to pass. And I passed, honestly. I never even asked what my score was because I don't care.
You just do that, you passed.
I passed. I never even asked what I got. So whatever. It's cool. It is what it is. So, and that was in 2019. So the year after I did my FIBA, I went and got certified as NBPA. And it's crazy. I hit the trail immediately, like trying to get clients and stuff like that. But and even right now, like I have a good relationship with the parents of a lot of kids, the parents of some kids who are going to be like top draft picks in this draft. You know what I'm saying?
This draft right here that we looking at?
this draft we're looking at right now. It's just unfortunate that I didn't get. I'll put it like this: I was promised a final. I was a finalist in getting in recruiting when it came to one kid for sure who's going to be a top type of guy. A lot of agents, and I can understand why they take things personally. I'm not like that. I'm happy for you. I'm rooting for you no matter what. But that like I said, to me, that's just a sign. Like, all right, you really have this is something that you can really excel in. You know what I'm saying?
So already so early, one of your potential clients could have been a top 10 pick.
Yeah, he's gonna be top 10 regardless. He's gonna be top 10. But yeah, his mom told me specifically, like I can. His mom and I have a really good relationship, so it's things like that. Like,
what was the reason that they didn't choose you as the agent? If you
I see, the thing is, I didn't even get to have that last final meeting because Corona broke out and we couldn't get together. Man. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, it's like, all right, man. I'm just. Of course, having conversations with multiple people, not just one agent. I'm aware of that, but it's like, all right, this is a young guy who's inexperienced, and then Corona came out. We can't have the meeting like we wanted to. I can just, which I understand. Let's just go with this. Let me not say let's just go with this, but it's like this is also another good option. This agency is big and experienced. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, to be a finalist and to have a chance and to be respected by.
That means something too.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good sign. I think that's a very good sign. And
definitely a step.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a time where you're gonna lock in that deal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I have to ask you, even if you don't want to tell me, could you tell me who it was?
Yeah. I don't want to say that. I can't say that. But
that's fair.
Yeah.
So how was it working alongside Chris Douglas Roberts with at Trap Sport Agency? Like, for those that don't know, obviously that's D-Rose shooting guard from Memphis. You with Joey Dorsey, that was a squad. John Calipari had something there.
For sure.
Mario Chalmers hit that buzzer beater.
Exactly. Yeah, that was. I remember watching that game. Like CDR and D-Rose and all that. That Memphis team was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then honestly, it's crazy how life works. Like I said, when I was an intern at the Knicks, CDR was playing for the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? And that just goes super shout out to CDR, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was just a real solid stand-up dude because, it's not too often where an NBA player would take the time to talk to an intern, you know what I'm saying? They're not doing that, to be honest. Like, but CDR, I went at Fayetteville State. One of my big homies that I met at Fayetteville State was from Detroit. And, he was like, oh, yeah, my dog, CDR over there, I'm going to link y'all. So he, put the word in and all, and hollered at him one day. And it was just always love. We stayed in touch, And also, I'm going to say a shout-out to Shump. Iman Shumpert. Always, yeah, because a lot of people, he might catch a lot of flack and, on the internet or whatever. But Shump showed love, man. Shump would say good morning to everybody, including me, and he would come and shake everybody's hand every morning, all the way down to the last desk, which is my desk, and say good morning. Yeah, so I'm like, yo, Shump is another stand-up dude. So shout out to Shump. Let me just put that on the table. But yeah, so CDR, first of all, I'm sure if y'all see his page or whatever, he's a super intelligent, smart, very smart dude. And he's kind of radical too. Like I said, he's a dope dude. And we had connected not too long ago. Just reconnected. I was just checking in, seeing what he's been up to, and we had some goals that were collinear. You know what I'm saying, in the sports world and things like that. And he told me he was, getting things going with Trap Sports and getting a sporting agency going. I'm like, yo, I just got certified. He was like, oh, word, I was just looking into getting my certification. I'm like, yeah, maybe we can just tie it together. And so that's how that's how that went. So
that's super.
Obviously, obviously we keeping it real. Of course, we didn't get to sign any clients, like we had hoped and intended to in this class. Things, like I said, just got so disrupted by the virus. But I think we'll be able to make some waves because we're young, we're Black, we're relatable, and
always counts for something.
Exactly.
Counts for a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll figure out ways to come back in the next recruiting class and things like that, and you know, figure it out. And you know, I may even, you know, help out and learn some different things from at a different agency in the meantime during this next upcoming season. You know, we'll kind of just trying to navigate that and see how this goes.
You know, I definitely, it's really imperative that you do that, because that's what's going to help you, you know what I'm saying, transcend and move forward.
Right.
Like, obviously you're saying that the COVID really impacted, you know, your progress and how you were moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you're doing now that you had to adjust to now? Like, maybe you were in contact with 5 people before, now you contact with like 20 possible people, you know, like, how did you shift to what COVID has really brought you?
So in all ways, I'm just trying to be productive. You know, I feel like, you know, in history of, you know, a lot of times, a lot of people got their start or got on in times like this, you know, when things were kind of uncertain.
Bad.
You know, yeah, and they kind of just took some risks, and then when things came back to normal, they had made some good investments and made some good moves. So I mean, right now, mainly what I'm trying to do is I've started my recruiting for the next draft class. For one, just getting in touch with parents. I'm staying in touch with the contacts that I have. There is one player who's returning to school, who's not going to be in the draft class, and you know, I make sure I just touch bases and check in with the relationships and clients, potential clients that I do have. And like I said, one thing I'm trying to do right now is I think I'm actually going to try to work at an agency in the meantime. Maybe this upcoming season, you know, let's see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least I build that network, build it even more, build my experience. And then at that point, I'm even more marketable. You know what I'm saying? Because that's it. Yeah, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's like, you know, we know the questions. We can't ignore the elephants in the room. And the first questions are, who do you represent currently? Okay, the answer is no one. I'm new. So it's like, okay, so why should I go with you? You know,
exactly. That's the second question. Yeah.
Period. Like, if I had a son, daughter, whoever it was, those would be the questions that I would ask.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be asking the same thing. So you got to just have, you know, you can't dance around it. You can't hide from it. Like, address it. Why should I allow you to represent my son? You have never represented anybody before. You know what I'm saying? So we try to find some ways. Maybe, hey, like I said, get some experience. Now maybe I can say, hey, I've worked at this agency. I think I'm trustworthy because of this. I have experience on this topic. Or I've been groomed by this person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to get in touch and just trying to make myself more marketable for when those conversations happen.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage you, bro. Stay level-headed with that. And you know what's really going to happen? I think when that moment comes, your genuine energy is gonna sell you more than you can sell yourself.
Right.
Because it's just gonna be a connection, because I know there's a level of discretion that you have to have in terms of your job. You know what I'm saying? So that question that you asked, why should I sign with you, being that you don't have anybody right now, there's going to be somebody that's willing to take that chance with you.
For sure.
That mobility that you're trying to build right now, it's going to speak for itself when it comes that time. So stay encouraged, bro. Don't let that defeat you at all, because this time that we in it's a shift. You know what I'm saying? This is really going to build the transition point that we're all trying to get to right now. So I really definitely
and I appreciate that, bro. You know, and everybody, no matter who you are, the top of the top in any field, any industry, they had to get a start somewhere. Exactly. Everybody had to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's gonna respect that, and they're like, you know what? We should. You know?
Yeah. Right.
I was telling somebody the other day that there's a duty that Black players have to their counterparts. When I say media, agents, you should want somebody, I think, to represent you that looks like you.
For sure.
There's no shout to, there's nothing taken away from anybody else where they have a white agent. But it's different when I'm representing you, because we look just like each other.
Right. And we're underrepresented in these industries. So it's like, and it's not like we're not capable. We're just as capable. It's just, you know, again, it takes some people to be like, I'm going to take a chance. Yeah, I'm going to take a chance. And it's not just like take a blind chance. Like, no, this person has shown me that he's worth taking a chance. And one thing I always say, the beauty of it, as a basketball player, you can fire your agent on any day. You don't need no notice.
Yeah, I did hear that too.
Yeah, you can do it on any day. So if you ever not satisfied, fire me. Like, I'll tell you straight up, fire me. But I'm confident. You won't. You won't.
Yeah, definitely. So recently, KD just dropped his the Basketball County joint. I believe it's called, the Basketball County in the Water.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about that documentary? One, I didn't recognize that many people came from PG County.
Yeah, for sure.
People, Mike Beasley, Quinn Cook. It's
right.
A whole list. Chris Jenkins, the guy from Villanova that had the buzzer beater. I didn't know he was from PG County.
Yep.
I didn't know the Grant brothers were from PG County. I had no idea. Even Mark, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, man. And it's like PG County got a lot of ball players. Maryland as a whole, I'm not even going, like I said, I've told you before, I'm from Montgomery County. I'm a Mo County boy, proud Mo County boy, which is just the next county over.
Right.
But it's a small network. Everybody knows everybody. And as Mo County boys, the thing is, we feel like we don't get to do the credit we deserve. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of ball players too on all levels. You know what I'm saying? But the highlight is always turned to PG County, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And I put that aside when it comes to the documentary because I'm happy to see people winning. No matter what, young people doing some cool things. Just seeing Quinn on there, Jaron, and Jure. It was cool seeing everybody on there. The producer, one of the producers, his name is Jimmy. I see him around the way from time to time. So it was a dope documentary. I think.
Anything you learned from it that you didn't know?
That I didn't know. Nothing that I didn't really know. One thing that I left after I watched it last night. So one thing I feel like is I'm really saddened by the whole Len Bias situation. And we all know the story, but watching those highlights,
that was tough.
And it's like, man, what if? You know what I'm saying? I really would like to know what would have happened with his career if things would have panned out. So I feel like that. I left with just that thought, like, I would have loved to know what his career would have been like. But no, it was dope. I feel, and being a local guy, I think I have an appreciation for it that a lot of people may not have. But I thought it was dope. It was cool. I definitely made sure I watched it last night.
Yeah, I think something else that's gonna be real imperative for you is now that they have this pathways program for the athletes coming out of high school. I think maybe something you can add to yourself is maybe helping them control their content. Because me personally, I think that it's a big thing now in the industry now where athletes need to control the narrative of their story.
Right.
So you being able to tell the mother or the parents that we can help guide the content and build them as a brand this way from them coming out of high school, that puts you in a different league because before they even get to the league now, I got them in a G League. You feel what I'm saying? So you in that situation, I think that even puts you in a whole nother situation, showing that you want to be hands-on like that. But really vibes to that. And if you get to Mom Dukes,
for sure.
I mean, you already know that without saying. She's not going to tell him what to do. Like, when his mom made him go to Nike, if she doesn't take him to Nike, we don't have what we have now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's crazy because that's a good point. Like, at this point now, if you're a top prospect, you can't just use Instagram like most of your friends are using Instagram. Like,
you can't.
You gotta watch what you say. You gotta use it to market yourself. Like, these young dudes, first of all, like, the way they playing ball these days, it's crazy. Like, it's different, bro. But like, so put your highlights on there. Like, we like to see personality would help you when it comes to getting endorsements, and you can go right from high school and start making money in the G League, or if you go overseas, whatever, but nah, man, you gotta definitely put some effort, and it has to be intentional usage of the social media at this point. If you find yourself in that position, capitalize on it and use social media right, and don't shoot yourself in the foot by posting like your high school friends are, because they can post that and nobody cares. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, man. Well, I have to tell you, I appreciate you sitting down with me. building. Stay encouraged, bro. This coronavirus is definitely gonna put us all in a different situation, and we all gonna be better at the time, man. It's Talk That Talk. Rob Bruin alongside Mounda Williams. I appreciate y'all for tuning in.